Good morning. How's everybody? So, I hope you all had a really, really, really good Thanksgiving. Mine was quiet and I liked it. I made some pot roast, no turkey, but my son actually ended up going over by my mom and they had fun, I guess, with everybody. So, I pulled one, two came out, but I do have something on my heart that I want to talk about today more than anything, and then I will get to some of the messages that downloaded to me and the card that got pulled. But holiday season, you guys, is stressful for a lot of people. But the problem being is that stress is generally put on by ourselves. It's not something that somebody else is doing. It's something that you do to yourself because you feel that you need to keep up with whoever, or if you don't have the money, then say that, or it's just, there's so many things. And for those of you that don't know my story, there's a lot to it, and someday the book will be out and published. And I've been writing it diligently now for about 15 years. Many chapters. But I don't have a relationship really with my family. And I walked away from them about, probably close to 15 years ago. And it was my choice for a lot of reasons. And, regardless of what my reasons were, the thing about it is, my children have been affected by it. I've been affected by it. There's a lot of, people that have been affected by it. But my biggest thing, and I posted something about this not too long ago, is there's a reason people like myself do that, because the toxicity that hangs in a family where there's no accountability, there's individuals that don't want to own their part in certain things. They don't want to see the damaging ways of doing things, how things have always been done, or, never really just listening, and wanting to blame. And I'm telling you, I am still the topic of conversation. The person that they criticize, the person that they take everything out of, well, she did this, she did that, she's this, she's that, this is why, blah, blah, blah. And honestly, at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. It's about my happiness and their happiness. And I chose to take my happiness and go be happy and not deal with a lot of the crap that comes from being that individual that isn't like the rest of the family. I have forever been that person. And I guess I never really talked about it a lot, and the things that I saw, or the things that went on, or, just how I felt differently about a lot of things. And I, for a very long time, just kept my mouth shut, just did as I was told, didn't buck the system a lot. Sometimes I did. But I come from a very, trauma, alcoholism, PTSD from a lot of things. I ended up marrying two individuals who did that to me. It was a very cyclical, very just handed on right down the line, and then individuals that just, want to control. They're so unhappy with themselves that they don't take accountability for themselves. They just lash out at other people. And it's sad because a lot of reasons why I don't have a relationship with my daughter. I blame myself for some things, but there's also, another parent in there that did everything they possibly could to make me out to be the bad parent. But yet I've raised my son all these years, and he's a great kid and he's doing very well for himself. And, it's sad because it's always the insecurity of that one parent that outshines the parent that actually is doing everything that they can for the child and not worrying about the other parent. And it's when it comes down to those things, and it's very generational, you guys. I've seen it in many different ways throughout my family and throughout, reasons why people don't talk to each other and people don't. But the thing about it for me is I have no angst or animosity or anything, in reference to my family. I wish them all well. There's 3 things in life. I love you, I wish you well, or I hope you heal. I have no hate, I have no anger, I have no, it took me a lot of years, and a lot of years of therapy, and a lot of years of things that I still do for myself to keep myself balanced. But I have learned that their opinion of me, the things that they say about me, are from how many years ago, and they don't know the Lori that I am now. They don't know this person. They don't know what I've become. They don't know the changes in me. They've only, going based on what they thought they knew about me. And that's the sad part about it, is people's egos so get in the way, and they're always looking to blame because they want to be right. And that's something I just have never really understood, because it's more about, I try to watch what I say. I try to watch, how it's going to affect somebody. But if you come at me hot, you're going to get me hot. People are a reflection of what you present to them. So if you're presenting kindness to them, you're going to get kindness. You present, something bad, you're going to get something bad. And that's the biggest part of it, is life is based on what you choose to make of it. In everything. You can't blame other people for your choices. Your choices, your consequences. So when you have family members and people that don't want to show up and don't want to spend the holidays with you, it's probably because they're either protecting their own peace because they've gotten to a good place and they don't want to disturb that anymore. Or, there's, I don't know, addictions or some other things going on, and that comes into play as well. But a good, healthy individual is not going to belittle, shame, talk negatively about their family members just because they don't show up. I mean, it's really sad to me that so many families are stripped apart by things that have happened in the past, things that, went on, things that were never talked about, things that parents don't want to admit happened, is basically what it comes down to. And I'm in my mid-50s, actually on the other side of going to 60. And there's just so much in my family because they don't want to heal. They don't want to take accountability for themselves. They just want to blame and make me out to be that person. And that's okay. And if that's what they need to do for themselves to make themselves feel better about it, that's fine too. I don't blame anybody. But I did what I needed to do for myself, for my own mental health. And honestly, I don't even know how to put it, more gratuitous, maybe, more enjoying life, because I don't have that weight on me or the expectations of them or the people pleasing to make sure everybody was happy on me anymore. And my life has become very serene. And of course I miss, certain things and certain aspects, and, watching my brothers and sisters, grow up from little on, and, they're now in their 40s and 50s. It's crazy, how fast that time goes. But I have found the peace and the joy in my world because I chose to work on me. And the thing about it is, I say this a lot, the more you work on yourself and the happier you become with yourself is when the outside world starts to see that. And then they start to wonder, well, what is she doing? Why, and it becomes a daily thing. I get up every morning and its first thing is, thank you for another day. I'm very grateful that, I'm able to be here and to come on and talk to you guys and give you some insight, and some wisdom of over the years. And I read some things just the other day, about my astrology, because that's one thing I wanted to bring up today. your natal chart is more than just your sun sign. It is, I've got a lot of water, but I also have some earth in me. But the Scorpio in me, I have it in Neptune and I have it in Mars, explains me more to a T. And I'm going to read this for you guys to just get a little understanding, about who I am and how I operate. But person who has Neptune and Scorpio is born with a vision. It's an allure to draw others in effortlessly and magnetically. Emotions direct me through my life. I'm empathetic and I have psychic compassion. I predict future events with accuracy. Magical minds mystify others. I'm very intuitive and I'm creative, intense, sensitive, and intelligent. A Neptune in Scorpio woman is many different things rolled into one, and I would agree with that. She's a wise soul, insightful in clarity, wisdom and honesty, and intuition to help others. So once I decided to embrace those gifts that I've been given, and I've had it since I've been a little child, I've always had what I call a portal opening that I can see on the ceiling at night when I go to bed. And there's all sorts of pretty colors in there, and there's all sorts of little, but I think that's where I go when I go to bed at night and I go into my dream state, because I come back and there's a wealth of new information. And, or, some days I come back and I feel like I got the shit beat out of me and my body is, completely sore. But Mars in Scorpio is one of my other placements is warm, intense individuals, not afraid to get in your face, but subtle, which is very true. I will tell you the truth, but I will try to be kind about it. Analytical when making decisions. Know when people are lying or being evasive. All my life. Strongest, most passion and intense people that you will ever meet. Makes things happen. Someone who can match your intensity and doesn't like to play games. Mind games is something that I have no time for. Most of the men that I dated were with, guess what they did? It's almost like, the universe challenging you. Well, here, play with them because they want to play that game with you. And those are, parts of my natal chart that are the underlying part of me, but probably some of the most intense parts of me, because it explains how my insides feel and what comes out to you guys and the knowledge, and people are like, well, how do you tap into that? I have no idea except meditation, because it brings me those answers. But it's just, I've always just had a very deep knowing of who I am and the things that I want to do in life. And I have been called crazy more times than enough, and even by my own children and my son almost every day. But it's just because they mostly don't understand. And they don't understand my vision and the things that I do for myself. So at the end of the day, when somebody says to you that they don't believe in you or they don't think things you're doing are right, kindly accept it and say thank you, but it's my life and I'll continue to live it the way I choose to. And that's really all you got to say. So I've got 2 cards here. Your life is a canvas, artist, manifestation, creative accountability. And of course, double mission, light worker starseed, serve the world by being you. So, be yourself, you guys. If you're feeling different than most of your household, most of the people in your family, most of the people that you've encountered in your life, understand that there are people out there like you and me that are different, but we're sent here for different reasons. We're here to spread the love. We're here to give opportunities to people to explain who they are without judgment and feel accepted. And that's the biggest part of it. Be accepting of people who are not like you. I have friends and acquaintances in every walk of life. It doesn't matter. What you do for a living, I could care less. It does not make you who you are. If you enjoy it and you're happy doing it, continue to do it. And don't let other people tell you that you can't do it because it doesn't do this or it doesn't do that or you didn't go to college. It's got nothing to do with it. No one's opinion of you should shape you the way they feel you should be. You can take in the insight, and this is what's most important when children, and I feel for them, little on, are told that they're worthless and they're an idiot or they're this or they're that. That scars that child and it stays with them for a very long time. So, I encourage you parents, do a better job, be nice, be loving, and let your child grow into who they want to be. Don't dictate who they need to be, okay? It's the biggest gift that I can give you today. So, go make it a good weekend. Don't do too much shopping on Amazon. I love you, and I hope you have a nice weekend.